my name to it. You got a beer. Do you want one?
Yeah, I like to hold something
know.
and also to drink beers.
Yeah.
No, we just need one clappy clap. Alright. Hi everyone, you're with Kirsty and Caitlin at the Pet Photographers Club podcast for members only this week. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we're having a chat about what it's like to be photographed by another professional, the process of hiring and the impact that can have on your business if you pay attention.
So if you listened to our interview episode last week with Jennifer McDavid from Psychology for Photographers, that was one of the big things that we were chatting about, how helpful it can be to go through the client experience rather than always focusing sort of on the business as the business owner. I think you learn a lot about it.
Yeah, but you have to pay attention, I think. You can't, you don't just go into it.
If you're going to do it, make notes.
Yeah, there we go. So by all means, we're not recommending that you pay for a photographer as a way of cheap mentoring.
No.
But just to know how it feels to be your client, basically.
Yeah, you're definitely not hiring a photographer to try and work out how they do their business. That's not where I think the benefit is.
No, not at all.
But it's super helpful to go through the experience and realize how the client feels every step of the way. So we did Jenica, it went live last week, but I think we recorded it about a month ago. Mm-hmm. By the way, just going to say, guys, if you can hear the other voices in the background, we've got Shane and Ben, our partners, are here and they're waiting for us to record this.
We're recording live, as you can see, which is pretty exciting for us because normally, if you don't know, I live 1,100 k's away. But I'm crashing with these guys tonight, we before Shane and I fly to Athens tomorrow, which is pretty exciting. Doing it live, and the boys are getting a bit restless. That's also why we got here. So.
Anywho, what I was saying is, up until our interview with Jenica, me and Ben hadn't ever had a photo shoot before, but it was something that I really wanted to have because obviously as a photographer, I highly value photography. But there were a bunch of things that kept putting me off. I'd love to lose a bit of weight before I do it. It's something that I can do eventually.
All the things that our clients are thinking.
Basically, yeah. And so Kirsty and Jenica were talking about how much they value it. It's something that Kirsty's done several times. And every time I see it, I always think, oh, yeah, I really should do that.
Because I think I've been saying that we're hiring.
Yes, that's right.
So Shane and I are flying to Athens tomorrow, and we've got 3 and a bit months away. And while we're away, I've arranged for a photographer to capture Shane and I when we're traveling through Georgia. Anyway, so Shane and I have hired a photographer for there, and we're going out for the whole day to get for our own a couple shoot. And I was telling Katie this is going to be so great because it's going to capture our holiday.
Keepsake too. It's a good souvenir.
Perfect souvenir.
She sold me on it. Yeah. Anyway, so then it was a week before we were due to fly off to Hawaii, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do it so much. It was our first big overseas holiday together. Mm-hmm. Never been to Hawaii before, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And then I texted Ben, and I actually thought he'd say no because he's quite camera shy. So I sort of looked up a few photographers and found one that I liked, but I thought he's probably going to say no, I don't want to do that. But I texted him and said, what are your thoughts on us getting some professional photos together while we're there? And he's like, yeah, if you want to do that, that would be awesome.
I don't know why she was surprised. Such a sweetheart.
So it was a really interesting experience, and I did take notes all the way through. Good. So, and I haven't chatted to you about it.
No, we haven't. No.
But I thought we could talk about it on camera. Okay, so the things that I noticed when looking through photographers' websites.
Yeah, let's start at the very start before you even pick somebody.
Yeah. So I'm Googling. I'll go through it. First of all, I want to know the prices, or at least a starting from price, before I inquire.
And I'm the same with that. I know a lot of photographers and other coaches and business advisors recommend
not having prices on
especially if you're a high-end photographer or whatever the right word is for that.
Put me off completely.
Yes, but I always say, remember your own buying experience, because I know I had a discussion, rather heated discussion with a photography business coach recently who was suggesting not to. Yeah. And I said, well, I've got an example of when I was looking for a car to hire in Europe, and anyone that didn't give me even a starting price, I just closed their page straight away.
Yeah.
Because I'm not filling out a 10-page form
even a
Sorry.
one-page form just to get a starting price. Like, no, if you can't even give me a price, then either you think you're too good for me or whatever
That's how
else
I
it
felt.
is.
I'm like, if I didn't mind the photographers who didn't. I would have preferred to see their whole price list because the thing is, I wasn't shopping on price at all. I was looking for a photographer who I really liked.
Yeah, me
But I
too.
wasn't going to invest any time inquiring, getting excited about someone, for example, if I had no idea. Because in saying I'm not shopping on price, I also wasn't prepared to spend $3,000 on these holiday photos. Like, this is not, these are photos I sort of probably not even going to print. So I was looking for someone in the lower end, price wise, but I was happy to spend anywhere up to, say, $1,000.
Yep.
So anyone who didn't have prices on, I exited immediately. So I thought that was interesting.
But that's interesting for you to note there is that if you had have had an open budget, would you have still cared about that as much?
I think
because
I
had an open budget.
Yeah.
I mean, within reason, I wasn't going to spend 10 grand on this. But then I was frustrated that because I was looking at that higher end, you can kind of see in their work and their website and everything, every one of them, no prices.
Another thing that I noticed a lot were there were a bunch of photographers who did not have their location listed on their website.
Oh, that drives me crazy.
I was looking for photographers on around Honolulu, and there was, and because I was looking through Google image search, I did find myself doing that, which was interesting because I was looking.
I don't rank on Google image search, so that's interesting.
I think I need to spend more time making sure I do, because I originally was looking through the web pages and that was just taking a while to open up, and I'd open it up and it would be like really tacky photography, so I'd have to exit it straight away. And then I was like, never mind this. I'm going to go over to Google image search, and then I can see all the different styles of the photographers, and it was really easy to pick up through there. I was just Googling Honolulu portrait photography.
That's interesting. Do you know where I ended up?
Where?
I ended up Instagram.
Yeah.
Like just looking through different people's hashtags, and eventually I think I did hashtag like Tbilisi, which is the capital of Georgia. Tbilisi photographer, I think, was the one in the end. And I would just scroll until I found someone that I liked, and then I'd add them to the list. And then I went to Pinterest. But I didn't do Google Images. That would have been way easier.
Well, I didn't even think to do Instagram, and I'm not on it all the time. But I did find it really interesting. I had never considered that clients looking for a photographer would obviously want to be looking through images rather than websites. I rank highly on Google anyway on the web page things, but I haven't put a whole lot of time into Google Images or Pinterest.
Yeah, me either.
Things. So I thought that was interesting. I really wished that there was a top 10 portrait photographers in Honolulu blog post. I got super confused because there were two photographers who had exactly the same pro photo template and they hadn't customized it at all. And they were both ranking pretty high in Google Images. And I clicked on one of them, liked her images, she didn't have her pricing. Then clicked on another person's one through Google Images and liked hers, but then the pricing was up there and I got super confused because I'm like, wasn't I just on this website?
So the images were similar.
The images were similar enough, and it was a profile. I had a look and I was like, oh, they're just both using the same profile template. So there's just a big shout out if you are using any sort of templates, template websites, make sure you customize it.
Yeah. That's a good tip, actually.
Yes. What else did I have? I wanted to be able to go over to either their Instagram or Facebook page really easily from their website.
Yeah. Social icons, definitely.
Yeah. If I liked someone's thing, then I immediately wanted to see their social stuff. I wanted to see how recently they've been posting. Yes. Are they active at the moment? I wanted to see if they had any reviews. I wanted to see more photos rather than just their portfolio, which might be a little older.
And also only usually the very best photo from every session, whereas hopefully like a blog, an Instagram or a Facebook page is multiple images.
So I found myself immediately searching. As soon as I liked someone's stuff, I wanted to find it. And then some of them were a bit difficult. I had to like look up their business name in my Instagram app and that sort of thing. I was like, well, this is annoying. So the girl that I eventually found, I liked her style. She had her pricing on her website. But the thing that really resonated with me is she had a whole bunch of character just shining through her copy. Like, she was not afraid to fully embrace, this is who I am. It was like super silly stuff. She was quoting Friends and Parks and Rec and a whole bunch of other TV shows, which I love.
Yes.
Me and Ben are super into that.
As you said to Ben, this is a photographer, he would have been way on board once he realised.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, well, so for me personally, when I saw her and the way she was presenting her personality, I thought, he's not going to get shy in front of this girl. She seems super relaxed. She mentioned Monica and Chandler, which is basically me and Ben. And I was like, okay, this girl's going to be fun, and that's what we want. Like, we wanted to rock up, have a few drinks beforehand, head to the beach, have a really relaxed session, and just have like a couple of cute photos of the both of us. So I booked her. She was really excitable in all of her communication. It matched the way that she wrote on her website.
Because if it was very formal
yes,
emails.
if I then got a formal response to the inquiry, I would have been like, ooh,
that's not what I'm booking you for.
Yeah, wait a sec.
Yeah, so whatever personality you that shines on your website would need to be consistent, because
absolutely,
just because that's what you were responding to her personality like that, I probably wouldn't. Because I would be like...
I did think, Kirsty wouldn't like
Yeah, did
this.
you?
Yeah.
I would be like, Friends quotes. I wouldn't be judging, but I would just be like, this isn't the right photographer for me.
It's not the right photographer for you.
That's right. And then the person I did choose, in contrast, I guess, was a much more... a man. I tend to always book men.
I would always want a woman.
Yeah. And that's probably because I don't... Besides Caitlin, I don't have that many female friends. That was probably the first thing. And then I thought it would be good for Shane to be photographed by a man. And then I went for somebody who was going to show us the local area, because that was a big part of what we wanted captured. And so I looked for somebody who loved to travel themselves.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, and so not intentionally. It was kind of a subconscious thing. And then I found myself always looking at photographers that were putting up more than just portraits. They were putting up their road trips and their going here or going there, and that's a big part of Shane and my personality, or our relationship as well, is that we're always traveling. And so that made sense that we pick someone like that. So you don't have to go and change your websites to be having quotes from Friends or Seinfeld.
Not unless that's who you are.
Yes, but show what you are. So it made me think, when I booked this photographer in Georgia, okay, well, that's something I should share of my personality.
So the one thing I did change after booking Sarah was I went through a few of my email templates and put in a little bit more of how I actually talk.
Yeah,
so it wasn't all super professional.
Yes, good.
I'm definitely Ragamuffin is much more professional than how Sarah had her business set up, but there's a little I'm naturally a kind of giggly, silly person on shoots. Like, I make a lot of jokes. If you didn't notice,
we're a little bit giggly sometimes when we're together.
And it's sort of like, I don't try to hide that part of me from my personality, from my clients. So I put in like a little bit, a few more yays, a few more woohoos, like that sort of thing.
Good call.
And I put in a super duper, because I actually say that a lot. And I was like, just a few more things, like when it's, it's a whole big email template and it's a lot of serious things, like this is what's happening now. But at the start I was like, I'm super duper excited to share your photos, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I changed. So we had the session.
Yes, and
there were some that I love. There were some that I love.
Yeah.
The one disappointing thing was when I contacted her. Obviously, we've not been to Hawaii yet. And I contacted her and said, we want to book a photographer for a photo shoot that is very Hawaii, because this is sort of like our souvenir from our holiday. And so just sort of up to you, because she asked, where do you want to shoot? And I said, well, we're not there yet. Where do you recommend? The location that she picked looks like it's from Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, you said that.
So it just
When like the backdrop could have been
palm trees.
Yeah.
The backdrop could have been bright blue
Mountains.
skies, mountains,
Yeah.
like all sorts of different things.
what we picture as Australians as being Hawaii.
Typical Hawaii would have been great.
Mhm.
The results from the shoot are super cute, but we could have done them
Here. It's not a souvenir shoot, really.
It's not a souvenir shoot
Yeah.
at all. Now, obviously this doesn't relate to pet photography, but the issue there was her not listening to what I was saying I wanted,
Mhm.
because we were saying we'll go anywhere on the island. So it wasn't a travel issue, because she was actually on the other side of the island. She came to us
Cool.
to do a nearby location.
Oh, but you could have gone to her.
I would have, and we said we'll go anywhere, just like a really Hawaii location. Now, also she's from there, so she doesn't know that.
What you visualize as
Yeah,
Hawaii.
but the thing is, when you have a client coming to you with a specific request,
Mhm.
you sort of just have to sit down and actually think that through.
And if you don't know, you should ask
questions.
Right.
Yes, she could have turned around and said, well,
what do you mean by
what
that?
do you mean by that?
Yeah.
Because I would have straight up said, well, we need palm trees.
Mm-hmm. Because she's obviously just gone, Hawaii's beach.
So what she's done is just, it was a nice beach.
Mhm.
Not like, it's a nice beach, but we could have been anywhere. Still love the photos. The other thing was that I liked, which I'm going to start implementing for my full sessions, was she offered 2 outfit choices. And
do you think that's especially good though for portrait photography?
No. Because for example, when we had our session, remember how freaked out you were about what to wear?
Oh my.
Imagine if I turned around and said, bring both.
Mm.
The relief.
Mm.
The relief that Ben and I felt when we were umming and ahhing what we're going to wear. And then we went, well, we've got 2 outfit choices. So we'll wear this and then we'll change and we'll wear that. And then if it turns out we look shit in that one, that's fine. We've got the other one. I wish you'd done 2 locations. I would have paid more to do 2 locations. But I thought that was really interesting and I'm going to start implementing that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So while I was studying, I was lucky that I was surrounded by a pretty good photography community already. And she asked if she could photograph me, which was great because I was a student. So that was my first experience of professional photography ever. We'd never had family portraits.
Mm-hmm.
The only family photo we had was from my auntie's wedding. So that was it. So that was really good for me. So I did that. And I still remember stuff from that. Like I remember how awkward I felt when she was like, oh, we're just going to move your top like this. And I was like, oh, really? But then the first professional photo shoot that I had where I hired someone that I didn't know, paid full prices, was with you, Caitlin.
Yeah.
And that was one of the best things I could have done for my business really at that point, because even though I'd been in front of the camera a lot, what I hadn't done was go through the whole process of finding someone. So basically what happened was I was actually living in Adelaide already. And
oh yeah, because you packed up your car, and I remember I met you in Alma Park in St Kilda.
Yeah.
And you had your whole car packed full of everything.
Yeah, I'll be right. My car at that time was like falling apart. Anyway, so I think I Facebook messaged Caitlin or something, and I basically was just a fangirl. I reached out to Katie and I was like, I love your work and I'm super inspired that you're doing this and only pets. And anyway,
I didn't know we talked about business.
Not really, just like very.
I didn't know.
Me being like, I'm your fangirl.
I had no idea.
Oh, don't you remember that? No. Oh, you wrote back a really nice reply.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. Anyway, a few months later, I decided that if I wanted a pet photo shoot with Fleet, and so of course Caitlin was my actual choice. But yeah, then I learned, like Caitlin mentioned before, how I called you and was like, or messaged, and I was like, I don't know what to wear. Yeah. And I was at my parents' house and I had clothes one side of the room from the other.
And I do send a guide.
Yes, you do. Exactly. My hair was half shaved and I had like all my cool clothes from India, and I was trying to toss up like, should I wear my cool India clothes? Because I literally just got back like 2 weeks before. I was so poor. And like, should I? And my mum paid for the
did she?
session for Christmas.
Aww.
Yeah, I remember. I really took note of like how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
But then just how great you were when I just messaged and was like, oh, like I don't know what to wear. And Caitlin was like, oh, what are these? What are that? Like you were really good about it. And anyway, I learned lots of other things probably along the way as well. The biggest thing being the shortcut in on Lightroom.
Oh, really?
I'll never forget. I always credit you and I tell other people about that. You know, when you see all the, you select like 8 photos and then you want to put them in thumbnails and you hit N and Caitlin did that in front of me in the ordering appointment. I'm like, what was that? Can I steal that?
I could be of use to you.
Yeah.
3 photographers
Mhm.
have hired me. Not that you hire someone to become their friend, but Terry Garnett, hi Terry,
Hi, Derry.
is a member for the Pet Photographers Club. She hired me.
Mhm.
One of my really good friends, Justin, hired me years ago, and then we just got chatting after our ordering appointment for hours, and the same, and then like worked out that we both like whiskey, and he's been friends with me for years now. But I think
me and we started a podcast.
yeah, I just obviously need to stop clinging onto my clients. But I do think like you can get sort of chatting, and it's a really nice experience. But predominantly would highly recommend it as a way to see how a client might experience
and also
the entire situation.
Yeah, and how the clients that aren't booking, why they might not be booking.
Yes, absolutely.
So pay attention to who you don't book as well as who you do book. Yeah. That's the other thing I was trying to get to that. Oh, it's a bit long-winded, sorry.
We're going to chat to the guys potentially and see if they'll give us a couple of little tidbits as non-photographers from the client experience.
Oh, and I think, also because the client isn't a photographer, but also as the partner. Because it's always
true. There's always the partner, isn't there?
Yeah, when you photograph the couples, there's always one that really wants to do it and one that may or may not really want to do it.
Yeah.
In both of our situations, there's one that may not really want to do it. Ben did it because you asked and he'd do anything.
Yeah.
And Shane did it because it took me 2 years.
But yeah, I'd be interested to hear what they thought. It's going to be more about, obviously, the shoot experience.
Yeah. Because they didn't do the booking because they're the ones that are being...
Yeah, it makes sense. Then we do have, actually, speaking about client experiences, right at the end of the season, we're going to have a deep dive with one of my clients and totally pick her brain about the whole experience. So that'll be really good too.
That's a bonus episode, yeah.
Yes. Let's get the boys.
Let's see if we can get them.
Okay, so we're back here with our men now.
We convinced them to join.
Benjamin and Shane.
Hello.
So we've been chatting to everyone listening about basically our experience with hiring the Hawaiian photographer. I've talked through the whole booking experience, but we're really interested in hearing it from the partner's point of view. So what were you most nervous about before?
Being in front of a camera like I am right now. I don't think it changes much. No, like what to do, I guess, in front of the camera.
Like how to
like
pose?
How to act or whatever. Like, are you meant to act natural, or are you meant to, is the photographer meant to be telling me what to do? Like, please tell me what to do because I don't want to act natural.
So you did want that, right? You wanted her to guide us. So she had a few things, like she had us, had Ben teach us a handshake. She didn't guide us. She had us do the same poses a lot over and over again. I feel like she didn't have a wide repertoire of poses,
which is a lot of variation.
Yeah, it would have been. I was waiting for her to sit like right next to me, like I'm ready. It would have been interesting, maybe a little more guidance. Yeah,
just a system.
It was a bit too relaxed because the reason that you picked her was because she was so relaxed. But then maybe it was a little too relaxed. Did you find her easy to get along with though?
She was easy to get along with, but I think that there wasn't like a system in place that you go, okay, this is exactly what you should be doing, and this is how you're going to get the best photos out of your experience. There was like, maybe
we'll do this, maybe do that.
So has she been in business very long?
No.
Yeah.
And she's also not a full-time photographer.
So she hadn't adapted her systems or created her systems yet, maybe.
I find it interesting that you say that though, because when I'm shooting, I have a pretty system, not cookie cutter, I won't say that, but I basically do the same poses.
Reuse them, yeah, me too.
And I try to make it seem like I'm making them up on the fly because I actually thought that clients wouldn't like that. But do you feel like it would be okay to feel like I have these poses that I know work and let me do them?
It's a confidence thing as well. Like if you've got a system in place, it means that you're confident in what you're doing. It means that you know what your client wants and all these kind of things that
because even if you're because even if you're doing it relaxed though, Katie, all your mannerisms will still be showing you're confident. And so like one of the things I do is lay down pose, which you do a similar one actually. I just Well, I do a variation of that one. I do a side one, but it's a similar idea. And it's very flattering, especially for women.
Yes.
Which is why I do it. And I always say to my clients, because I'm the same as you, I'm trying to make sure that they know this is personalised to them. But then I say, look, I do have a pose that I know works. It's really flattering, and you do not need flattering angles, but I would love to do it if you're keen. It does require you laying down on the ground.
That's so I always say, all right, are you guys up for getting down on the ground? Because that's my favourite pose is with you lying down on your stomach so your faces are right close to the dogs. And I just say like, and I wait obviously till the end of the session because they're going to get covered in leaves.
Yeah, me too.
But I mean, the thing is, no photo's going to be exactly the same anyway.
No,
that's right.
So like, I don't think people would care even if you did have like an exact system, because each location is going to have something that's different, even if it is the same location. You got different people, different dogs, characteristics within people.
I would have been happy for her to push us a little bit further, like have us go out into the water, have us.
They didn't want to get in the water.
Well, lucky she didn't then. I would have happily got in the water. It was a warm night and.
I was wearing jeans.
You're wearing shorts.
Short jeans.
Yeah.
Not short
Denim
jeans.
Denim jeans, yeah.
They were pretty short. Very tiny.
So, okay, you've had your shoots being gone.
Yeah,
We've had
you're
a
about to
shoot.
have yours.
Well, we've had one in the past, but it was quite a casual thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that having done that shoot is the reason that you're letting me book this next one?
Yeah, absolutely. Because for most guys, like Ben said, like most guys aren't comfortable being in front of the camera. Like,
No, most women aren't either.
Yeah,
No,
We just
guys-
really want the photos.
Yeah, exactly. But
That's a
you
good
know,
point that you made actually. That before the shoot you didn't really want to be there. I mentioned before that I kind of conned you into coming. But after the shoot, who valued it more?
Maybe me.
Might
Might have cried a bit.
Yeah, watching the slideshow.
It's because you got that song. Gets me every time.
So I think the key to take away from that is that if if you can find a way as the photographer to appeal to the partner, and like how your photographer, you were able to say to Benny like, oh look, she loves
really
friends.
relaxed, she's friendly.
But the
she's
thing was
funny.
there was like, you didn't want to step on toes or anything, but I could see like, oh, we should do this, or can we do the change?
That's true. So
attire.
she didn't mention the outfit choice. She had it on her website, which is how I knew it was okay.
Yeah.
But in the middle of the session, she never at any point said, do you have an outfit choice? I had to bring up, can we change Mrs. William?
Oh,
Hey,
no.
we have
Come back. Oh.
too sudden.
No.
It's a cat. And a dog.
So
Yeah.
I had to bring that up, and there were also, so she was just having us standing all the time, which I feel like a portrait photographer versus a pet photographer is probably likely to do. But I was like, can we do a couple? I didn't want to step on her toes because she was aware that I was a photographer, but I was also like, we're having the same poses a lot. Can we do a couple sitting down, like that sort of thing? So I do think varying your poses is super important.
But not just like she was really good. Like, she was really friendly and bubbly and everything, which was awesome.
Lovely.
But the thing was, like, as I said, like the system, like, this is different to this.
Yeah.
And,
That's
like,
the
so
way
you get
you
a
think about
variation
everything too.
Yeah.
to what you're getting. Like, we did the same walk through
Over and over again.
4
Yeah.
times.
And you've read on the website that you can change outfits
Yeah.
or whatever, and then she didn't deliver that experience, so that just
Yeah,
goes back
I
to...
had to bring it up and be like, can we change now?
Yeah, it shouldn't be left
which
up
is a
to
little
you
bit awkward, and if
to
I hadn't
drive
felt
that.
confident enough, I may not have brought it up.
And then that would
And
lead to
then
that
I would
feeling.
And you wouldn't have.
Yeah,
It was
that's
right.
right,
It sort
yeah.
of. It felt like the shoot was wrapping up, and she still hadn't brought it up. So then I was like,
Yeah.
can we do that? But only because I was like, I'm not 100% confident with the outfit that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
Also, I liked the second outfit change. It was so much better.
So
I
much
thought it
better,
was so
thank
much
goodness
better
we
than
did.
So you didn't have the short, tiny
Yeah.
jeans.
The hot
No,
pants.
they were a little bit shorter.
Like a little bit more thigh.
different colour. Helps.
Also, she played music while she shot.
Oh,
that
that's
was
popular
cool.
among
That
portrait
was
photographers. Did that help you
cool.
relax?
No, I couldn't hear it.
We couldn't hear it. We were on the beach. She needed a
was
better
talking to us.
speaker.
This was great, except it wasn't.
We heard little bits of it. She was also far away.
Yeah.
But if it had been like a speaker
In the
sitting in
background.
just in like a mutual place that we were walking around.
Yeah,
it
okay.
would have helped out.
Because we stuck to the same location. Now the reason why I would struggle with that is because I move
You
around
move-
so
me
much.
too.
But you could
Your
have
camera
it
bag.
on the camera bag, yes, rather than on you.
But cool idea though. Cool idea.
Very cool idea,
Point
and
seven.
it made me instantly feel, okay, this is gonna be fun.
Yes. Which
Was
is
it
why
your
you booked
music
her.
or her music though?
Her music.
Would it have been better if it was your music?
No, I didn't mind.
No,
Just
any
generic
Yeah.
music.
I mean, she was just playing couple of music.
Yeah.
To be like,
Yeah, you just have
Like Michael Bolton or something.
like a bit of Celine
Sheeran.
Dion. Yeah, she's like Ed Sheeran or something. But you would just have like, you know, I would have like Fleetwood Mac and just
Yeah,
like some
exactly.
old school,
Yeah.
but not polarizing music.
Yeah.
Just play your
Fleetwood Mac
audience,
is a
I
good one.
guess.
Yeah.
That's true.
You could have
Yeah.
a couple of different. So
That's
okay.
that.
So we've had a shoot. You guys had a shoot. We're about to have another one
We are?
in Georgia.
All right.
He's just staring. Shit. So before, like when I first brought up having photos when we're away, that was when I asked if we could do it in New Zealand, and Shane was like, no. So
Why?
why? Yeah. Oh.
I guess I didn't. Yeah, just the same as what we were saying before. You know, just not feeling comfortable in front of the camera, and just, you know, I think men probably in general are very negative towards, you know, couples photography or.
Which I didn't
whatever,
understand.
Which they
concept.
super
Yeah,
would
and
be
you
about
don't-
pet photography.
Mm-hmm.
And
Right,
the amount
yeah,
of husbands I've come in who their initial mindset is, what the hell are we doing?
Mhm.
Like, are you
Yeah, what's the
serious?
point?
And then they cry when they see it.
Yeah.
But that, like,
This guy.
yeah, it is a tricky hurdle to jump.
Yeah. So, okay, now that we're going into this shoot though, how come you feel more
Well, it's
relaxed?
just having been through it before.
But also, we're gonna go traveling, like exploring for the day as well, which,
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah,
you
yeah,
like
that's
the
right.
idea of
yeah,
that, right?
yeah. So what this guy did was threw in a bit of a combo package of
I love that idea.
yeah,
Hire
yeah,
a car,
yeah.
he's gonna take us up to the Russian border.
Yeah.
And once I said that to Shane, he was in.
You know what the equivalent would be? Is an adventure day with your dog.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Which I really
I
wanted
really
to.
wanna do it. I really want to do it. So
Yeah.
Any-
Will?
let me check. the
We're all looking at him.
Anyway,
Cool.
any last thoughts?
Have a few drinks before
Yeah.
you go there and relax.
Just a little
Like,
bit of something
Needs to
that
happen.
there could be more of an experience
Yeah.
there.
Because I think a big hurdle is definitely getting the other person
Yeah.
involved. If client A is already invested, and you've just sold, for lack of a better word, the whole process to them, they still have to sell it to the partner.
Yeah.
So I guess this is something that to be aware of. Like, how can you also be selling to the partner?
Yeah.
And what would make a difference?
Yeah, well, I think you have to market an experience to the partner. I
Yeah.
suppose. So
Something that the first partner can turn to the second
Yeah.
partner and say, "But this is what's going to happen."
Oh,
or just
Yeah,
give the
exactly.
Dustin Martin don't argue and just go ahead with it.
yeah, exactly.
She doesn't care. Learning a couple of things from Maple.
easy.
Yeah.
So that was an Australian football reference there for the listeners. So, alrighty.
But, I mean-
Anyway,
Alright,
That's something to think about.
yeah,
Anyway.
whole experience.
Mm.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. Market.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening once again to this members deep dive. We hope there was something helpful in there for you guys.
that little bonus part there, the boys.
Yeah. And if you have any comments or questions, as always, just start a thread in the Facebook group and we'll jump on and have a chat with you guys.
And leave some love for the boys because we had to drag them on kicking and screaming. Now we better feed them. Take you out for dinner.
Have an awesome week, guys. Bye.
Bye. Cool.
Oh, you're so cute. She's cute when she's sleeping.
See?